So your big takeaway when you heard the news that it actually happened, Trae Young to Washington, what was your reaction?
The timing was right.
Yes.
And this was good for both teams, and I think ultimately for Trae Young. Sometimes you just need a change of scenery. Washington isn't going to go as far as the Atlanta Hawks maybe had the potential to, but it was time to turn the page. Jalen Johnson is now the franchise cornerstone piece in Atlanta. This now takes Trae Young back and puts him in a role that he's very comfortable being, a franchise cornerstone piece that other guys can follow. And I think he felt a little lost in that role as time went on in Atlanta. Jalen Johnson's ascension, and the Hawks just going in a different direction.
And Austin, we've heard about this possibility for a while now. Were you surprised that it actually happened and how it went down?
Yeah, I mean, it felt like it was never going to happen. We've been hearing these kind of rumors for the past couple of years, but I think Derek hit it on the head just with the timing of it all. This is a guy who obviously is a four-time All-Star, taking his team to the conference finals, multiple years in the playoffs, even one out in the play-in game. It was time. Jalen Johnson and that young crew has kind of emerged. It reminded me of similar to when, Kyrie was in Boston and he was hurt and that team made that run without him. Sometimes when you see a team win games without you so frequently, like you saw this year when he would sit down, it just builds, and I just feel like for both parties, Trae included, a fresh start was needed.
Yeah, it was 13-9 without him in the stretch of game. He comes back, and they lose all 5 of those games with him back. And so what does this mean for Trae Young and his superstar status? Because notably, no draft picks exchanged hands in this one. What does it tell us about the standing of Trae Young in the league right now?
That's a great question. I'm sure Derek would agree. I was kind of surprised there wasn't any picks involved. I mean, this is a high-level point guard. When you talk about...
Do you think he's still a high-level point guard?
I do. There are concerns. Obviously, his defense is, he's a liability on the defensive end, and there are questions regarding players liking to play with him, but I've seen career years be around him. I saw John Collins emerge as a premier power forward in the league playing alongside Trae Young. He sets up a lot of his teammates like he's going to do in D.C. A lot of these young guys are going to get easy shots, easy looks playing alongside Trae.
Yeah.
And I think, he still should have that high value in the league, and I think he's a star player still.
Yeah, the return would not indicate to us that a whole lot of teams maybe still see him in that light. There could be other things at play here, too, contract. But how do you see with Trae?
Yeah, I think the timing of his deal, he's in the 4th year, I think, of a 5-year extension that he signed previously.
Still.
And so to give up a lot of draft capital, assets, and good players. C.J. McCollum's still an all-star caliber guard, even though he's at the latter stage of his career. To give that up for a player that you're not sure will be on your roster after next season is a difficult ask for a team. But I believe it also speaks to, and Kevin Durant said it probably better than all of us, the league has changed. Let's not second-guess that. Smaller body types are not the performance or cornerstone franchise player profile that everybody's looking for. You think about the best players in the league that we'd all want to build our teams around, from SGA to Wemby. Jokic would still fall in that category. Giannis, Durant, Ant. There's a number of guys that Paolo Banchero in Orlando. Not many teams are building around a 6'2" point guard. And so you can't give up a lot of your future for a player that you don't believe necessarily will catapult you to the top of your conference standings.
Now, Washington hopes he is that player, though. Are they making a wrong bet in investing in Trae Young now?
I don't think so, because they're so, I don't want to say far behind, because I don't want to be disrespectful, but they're a team that's still a couple pieces away. They're not as far along as Atlanta is, where they have a, sure-cut restart franchise player like Jalen Johnson. They're still finding, obviously, they have Sarr, George, Trae Johnson, some talented young players down there. I think their development will increase and actually probably go further along at a faster pace with a guy like Trae. It's kind of like when OKC brought in Chris Paul when Shea was still young, and they had Dennis Schroeder and all those young guys there. Dort wasn't as prominent as he is now. He taught them winning. He taught them how to win, compete in games, close games. For all that Trae isn't, he is still a star player and can control a game.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he does play quite a bit, because I know they have a top 8 protected pick, and the Knicks would get it if they start winning a little bit here. So Trae's a little bit dinged up with the MCL, so that's something to monitor going forward. Atlanta now. This is obviously a shift for them. Are they better off now than they were just a week ago?
I think they're better off now because this is done. Turning the page can't take forever.
Jalen Johnson can be that guy to lead them.
He can be that guy, but C.J. McCollum is a closer. And so when you're a team like the Atlanta Hawks that you're going to be in a ton of 7-point, 8-point games, wins and losses. And a guy like C.J. McCollum, positionally, he gives you a guy that can play off the ball just as comfortably as on the ball, which allows you to utilize Jalen Johnson in a multiple ways. And they're just more versatile as a team.
Yeah.
And it just clears the locker room up.
Sure.
Not that there was any beef or negativity, but Trae Young is gone. We can now move forward.
What do you think for Atlanta this year and moving forward?
I agree. And I think, you know, like you said, the resurgence of Johnson, Nickeil Alexander's been a huge surprise for them, a guy who's come from Minnesota. I don't think people thought he could make the way he has. I think even though Trae wasn't a problem there, just the looming rumors and issues of when is he going to get traded? Is he not? Who's going to go with him? What are we going to get? It's over with. Now they can move forward. They do have a really good, talented young core that they can build around and move forward. And like you said, CJ can help them close.
Fresh start for both programs there, so it'll be interesting to see as we go on.